Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk to you about the Pyke Syndicate. The Pyke Syndicate almost completely controlled the production of raw spice in the galaxy. The Pykes were responsible for ensuring the flow of spice from Kessel to Coruscant, utilizing smugglers and freighter captains to carry out Kessel runs to ensure spice deliveries. By the time of the Clone Wars, they were connected to the crime families of Coruscant. As well as spice, the Pyke Syndicate also extracted coaxium from Kessel. During the reign of the Galactic Empire, the Pyke's operations on Kessel were administered by Capo Key Tolsite, along with his staff of droids. The Pyke operations on Kessel employed many slaves of different species, whom Tolsite was ruthless. Sometime later, Supreme Chancellor Finis Valorum sent Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas and his aide Silman to engage the Pykes in negotiations with the Galactic Republic regarding the Pykes' monopoly on the spice trade. At the behest of the Sith Lord Darth Tyranus, however, the Pykes killed Sifo-Dyas as insurance against both the Jedi and Tyranus. The Pykes took Silman as a prisoner in the Pyke Palace on Obi-Wan. Years later, during the Clone Wars, the Pyke Syndicate gained control of the mining operations on the planet Kessel. In 19 BBY, the Syndicate allied themselves with Maul and the Shadow Collective. The Pykes were eager to join Maul after Maul had coerced Black Sun into joining the alliance. Along with Black Sun, they assisted Maul and Death Watch when they attempted to force the Hutt clan into joining the Shadow Collective on Nal Hutta, where they attacked Gardulla the Hutt's palace and forced all but one of the Hutts to flee to Jabba's palace. The last Hutt, Oruba, was stalked into revealing the whereabouts of the other Hutts and killed by a Savage Opress afterwards. The Pyke Syndicate then helped Maul attack Jabba the Hutt's palace and force Jabba and Gorga the Hutt into joining them. For Shadow Collective's next move, the Pykes staged a false flag attack on Mandalore, allowing Death Watch to intervene as so-called defenders of the people. With the government of Mandalore unable to manage the crisis, Death Watch successfully took over Mandalore without any real resistance and locked up their opponents. The Death Watch leader Pre Vizsla arrested Maul and assumed control over the planet. Later, Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi arrived on Obi-Wan, hot on the trail of Sifo-Dyas. After admitting that the Pykes had indeed killed Sifo-Dyas, Lum introduced the Jedi Knights to Silman, whom the Pykes had kept in captivity as insurance against Tyranus. Lum told the Jedi that they could have Silman in exchange for them turning a blind eye to them killing Sifo-Dyas. Shortly afterwards, Tyranus arrived on Obi-Wan with the intention of keeping the Jedi from discovering the truth behind Sifo-Dyas' demise. Tyranus cut through several guards and killed Silman when arriving at his cell. Tyranus then engaged the Jedi and the Pykes in battle. Lum surrounded Tyranus and his men to assist the Jedi, but Tyranus killed him and escaped. The Pykes remained loyal to Maul's Shadow Collective even after he was taken prisoner by Darth Sidious and Crim's Major Domo Fife, made up with the Sith Lord on Ord Mantell and the rest of the criminals and warriors. The Pyke defended the Black Sun stronghold during an ensuing separatist attack, but not without many casualties. Following this, Fife and Zeton Major Moj both voiced concern over the likelihood of Maul's plan against his former master succeeding, but they were told they would be paid nonetheless. During the Clone Wars, Major Domo Kinashilok, acting in the name of King Yaruba of the Yaruba family of Kessel, negotiated a deal with Rafa Martez to deliver spies to the Pyke Syndicate on Obi-Wan. Agreeing to the deal, Rafa and her sister Thrace and Thrace's friend Ahsoka Tano, secretly a former Jedi, loading up Thrace's Nebula-class freighter, the Silver Angel, with the spice and set off to Obi-Wan. En route, however, there was a confrontation, leading Trace to believe that the Pyke Syndicate were going to take their ship, so she dumped the spice. Ahsoka Tano, realizing they still owed the Pykes 30,000 credits worth of spice, came up with a plan to get away safely. Upon arriving on Diah, a group of Pykes met them on a platform, including Marge Krim. The group then pretended that they had the spice and gave the Pykes empty containers. Ahsoka Tano, unbeknownst to both her friends and the Pykes, used a Jedi mind trick to convince Krim to give them the credits. Fife, however, became suspicious of the group, realized the crates were empty, and ordered Pyke guards to get them. The group then made a hasty escape aboard their ship. However, they were cut off by patrol ships and caught in a tractor beam. The group was then taken prisoner by the Pykes, and Rafa was tortured. Trace escaped the torture chamber and met up with Ahsoka and Rafa, who had escaped the prison cell. After nearly escaping, the group was captured again by Marge Krim and the Pykes. In order for the Martezes to escape, Tano claimed the sisters still had a family and that she would tell Krim their location if the sisters did not return the spice. In reality, the sisters' parents had been killed during the Senate hostage crisis. After the two left to their ship and Tano was taken away, Krim spoke with Fife, stating that while he knew it was a deception, his life depended on the spice as much as theirs. When Fife questioned if Maul would find out, Krim stated his belief that Maul already knew. After she escaped her cell by using the Force, Tano sneaked through the facility, until finding an armory, where she took a set of magnetic thermal detonators to damage the Pyke base. Elsewhere, given that they lacked the spice but intended to rescue Tano, Trace and Rafa returned to Diah, intending to steal spice from the Pykes and then trade it back for Tano. Pretending they were to take delivery of a shipment, Rafa claimed the order was from the top and had the Tungs at the ship dock get to work getting their spice. Meanwhile, in the facility, Tano secretly placed the detractors before overhearing Krim talking with Maul via hologram. During the discussion, Krim informed Maul that the Republic was cracking down on the Pykes, recounting that they had raided a shipment. After Tano hid from the rogue Sith's view when he seemed to notice her, Maul ordered Krim that there were to be no more delays, or else another member of the collective, Crimson Dawn, would take control of their operation. After Fife and Krim left, they had been informed that Tano had escaped. She continued to plant explosives and learned Maul was on Mandalore from the transmission log. However, Krim and his forces then entered the room and captured her, but not before seeing she could use the Force, and made the Pyke leader believe she was a member of the Jedi Order. After fighting off the Trandosian manager and several Tongs, Rafa and Trace escaped the dock with the spice and went to return to Krim. Fortunes were not as high for Tano, however, as Krim intended to kill her to help restore his syndicate's reputation. The Martez sisters then entered the room, claiming they had returned the spice that they had really just stolen, so Tano would not have to die. Krim, however, believed that all three had been working for the Republic, although he soon learned both had been unaware of Tano's Force sensitivity until he revealed it. As the Pykes around the tree prepared to fire, Tano's bombs went off, giving them an opportunity to escape. They made it to the Silver Angel, and while they were chased by the Pyke ships, Tano used the Angel's gun to take out two of the craft, and Trace used the Angel itself to knock away their final pursuer. After this, the former Jedi and the sisters were finally free from the Pikes, returning back to Trace Martez's repair shop on Coruscant. Once there, Tano thought that because the Pikes thought she was working for the Jedi, the Syndicate would not hunt down their sisters in the near future. Tano's time with the sisters on Coruscant was cut short almost immediately because they had been followed by a member of the Mandalore resistance. Now having recruited by Lady Bo-Katan Kryze to fight Maul, Tano and her resistance eventually joined forces with the 332nd Company of the Republic's 501st Legion to besiege Mandalore and defeat the rogue Sith Lord. During the opening stages of the invasion, Prime Minister Almec ordered Cast to inform the Shadow Collective of the attack. After the rise of the Galactic Empire, the Pikes continued to expand their territory throughout the galaxy. At one point they made a deal with the Devaronian Roland Durand of the Durand crime family in exchange for spice. However, the spice was stolen by Clone Force 99 with the help of Sid, leading the Pikes to threaten Durand's life. The spice was eventually returned to them, and the Pikes punished Durand for his failure by cutting off one of his horns. In 10 BBY, Tobias Beckett's gang arrived on Kessel in the Millennium Falcon to steal some of the Pyke Syndicate's coaxium. First Qi'ra exited the ship with a disguised Beckett, L-337, Han Solo and Chewbacca. Qi'ra was met by Tolsite, who ran the Pyke Syndicate's operations there, and his Pyke Sentinels. Qi'ra claimed to be a representative who had come to negotiate a deal with Key. Key agreed to negotiate and told Qi'ra, Beckett and L-337 to come with him, while two of Key's guards took Han and Chewbacca to work as slaves in the mining operation. When Key and Qi'ra arrived to the control room of the mining operations, Key led Qi'ra and L-3 into a closed room but told Beckett to wait outside. When the door of the room closed, Beckett killed two of Key's guards and began to fire at the others. Eventually Beckett killed by Key's guards. Key quickly realized something was wrong, but Qi'ra quickly tackled him to the ground and stabbed him in the chest, killing the Pyke. With no guns in the control room left, L-337 deactivated the restraints of the slaves, freeing them and causing a massive riot. This allowed Han and Chewbacca to get free of their restraints and knocked out the guards with them. Han and Chewbacca then ran to the coaxium on the way. Chewbacca saw prisoners being tortured by the Kessel guards and went to help the Wookiees. Now alone, Han made it to the coaxium vault and took out the single sentinel guarding it. Inside, he was able to steal the coaxium and start wheeling it away on a cart. On his way to the Millennium Falcon, Han was stopped by multiple guards, but Chewbacca came back just in time to take them out. Han and Chewbacca were able to bring the coaxium to the Millennium Falcon, where Beckett was taking out guards trying to stop the riot. Several Pyke Sentinels set up a gun on a tripod to disable the Millennium Falcon, but were targeted and gunned down by Han, Lando. L-337 was in the midst of the riot, yelling that it was a revolution, but the unfortunate droid was shot and destroyed by a Pyke guard. Saddened, Lando Calrissian ran out to L-337's mangled corpse, but he himself was shot in the arm by a Pyke soldier. Han then ran out and carried them both back to the Falcon. With the coaxium and all their crew members inside, Beckett's gang escaped the planet. At one point, the arms dealer arranged a deal with the Pyke However, the clients were killed by a member of the Hidden Hand at the meet-up point, who offered the Melbu a more profitable deal when they arrived. Between 3 ABY and 4 ABY, the Pykes were invited by Lady Qi'ra of Crimson Dawn to attend the auction for Han Solo on Qi'ra. A few Pyke representatives attended the auction aboard a Vermilion and bid for Solo, but they lost to Jabba the Hutt. By 18 ABY, the Syndicate's power had faded significantly, but was still known to be quite formidable. Around the same time, the mercenary Lidismar was known to have escaped with a fleet's worth of ships stolen from the Syndicate's inventory. That's it for this episode. Please click like and subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notification bell to be notified of my latest videos. Until the next time, may the Force be with you.